What's up, animators? Mr. Tronis here. I'm going to show you how to bring your pixel art animations to life in a real video game prototype here I've set up for you. So if you're not familiar, this is called Unity. It's a very powerful game engine. If you've never seen it before, it's going to look like a lot with all these different windows that we're working with. We're just going to focus on a few key things here. So first I'm going to show you what this is our game view here in this window. And so if I press play, we can actually play the prototype. So my little frog ninja here has some simple animations I've already set up as a sample for you. So there's the idle animation, just chilling there, and if I use my arrow keys, I can run left and I can run to the right. Okay, and I have a jump animation, so if I press spacebar, I can do my jump here. So that's looking all pretty good. And then I also have an additional animation that you might have created as well, is key coded to the F key. So if I press F for fire, my animation is what happens to Frog Ninja if he gets hit by a bullet or a melee attack or something like that. Okay, so we're going to bring your animations in, your idle, your run, your jump, and your extra animation by pressing the F key. So let's get out of playtest mode here, and the first thing we need to do is import your artwork. So down here in the bottom you should have the project window open here, and it's we're inside the main assets folder, and all you're going to do is right click and you're going to go to import new asset. Now you're going to go find the art that you created. Mine's in my downloads called Virtual Guy. So you're going to find your sprite sheets that you created in Sprite or Pixlr, or Piskel, I think is the program you used. We're going to grab all of these here. So my jump is split into two because they're a single frame. Your jump is probably a single sprite sheet, but I'm going to import all those at the same time. And you see, here's my little virtual guy here. I can expand it out, but they are not sliced currently. We can't use these animations at all. So what I'm going to be doing is grabbing all of them and doing some quick editing on this import. So I'm going to hold control, again, hold control here and click each piece of my art that I imported there. I'm going to go over here. This is called the inspector. So you can see a little bit more of this window. And we're going to modify this these five sprite sheets really quick. First, I'm going to switch it to multiple because they are sprite sheets. The pixels per unit in my game is set to 16. I know your art is probably 32 by 32, but you're going to set this to 16. Now, two more settings. The filter mode needs to go to point no filter. That'll ensure your pixel art is crisp and not blurry, as well as compression. We want to change that to none. Once you've set those all, scroll down and hit the apply button. And now we're going to slice these up. So now I haven't sliced them up, but they are the correct resolution now, and they won't be blurry. So I'm just going to start with the hit. We're going to go to Sprite Editor. Click there, and if this window is too small, just make it bigger, and you're going to hit the slice button here and switch automatic over to by grid size. And my understanding is your art is probably 32 by 32. If it's different, then choose the alternate. If you did 64 by 64 or 16 by 16, you're going to choose 32 by 32 here most likely though. Slice it. So we can see these little red lines are cutting up my pictures perfectly. Slice that and apply. And now down here you'll see I get my little arrow button here, this little triangle. I can click that and there's all my separated frames. So we're going to do that with these other ones, but I'm going to go a lot faster here for the video's purpose. So let's grab this one, Sprite Editor, go to Slice, Slice, Apply. Close that. Next one, Sprite Editor, Slice. You see it's defaulting to the 32 now. Apply that. Close it. Same thing here. Even though it's a single frame, we're still going to slice this so everything is ready to be brought into my animations. And finally the run, Sprite Editor, Slice that up and apply. Okay, my artwork is imported and ready to go in for replacing my frog animation. So where my frog animation is located over here, this is called the hierarchy, and these are all the game objects that are in my video game currently. We're only going to care about a couple of these. We're going to click on player. If this isn't maximized here, these are called children. This little arrow key will open and close that. So open it up, go to the sprite selection, and now you'll see this animation window pop up with all these animations. If you don't see the animation window, simply go Window, go down to Animation, and click Animation. Okay, so that should pop up the window that you need. Now that we brought this in, we can see that my frog here has some animations already set up. I have the idle, and if I click this arrow, there's the action one. That was the fire button on the F key, jump, and run. So we're going to focus on the idle first now, and we're going to bring yours in. So this is really easy. I'm going to simply grab all of these keyframes. So in animation, each frame of our animation is called a keyframe here. We're going to delete all of those, and we're going to go and grab the idle. So the idle, you have to open it up, hold shift, and grab all of those and drag and drop them in. There we go. Now let's see what it looks like. You can still see my frog ninja there. Don't worry, you'll see as soon as I press play, it's not the frog ninja anymore because we have changed this idle animation. And so you can see this is way too fast. What's happening right now is this is sampling at 60 frames per second, and that's really fast when I only have 10 frames. So all we need to do is, because I have all of them selected here in blue and we have these bars, I can click and drag them to slow this down. And I want you to find a spot that you like. I prefer for this, because it's about 10 frames, to get it nice and even. I had it. Yeah, I kind of like my idle at 24 there. It's looking pretty good. You can pause that and you can move single keyframes if you want. If you off click, I can move this one frame where I want. But I'm pretty happy with that sample right now. So there's my idle ready to go. And we'll move on. Idle, we're going to switch this to jump now. Okay, so actually, let's do the run first. So we're going to the run animation here. Again, grab all of them. Delete, and let's find my run, which was minimize that. There's my run there. It's got lots of frames. Grab all of those. Looks like I have 12 of them. Drop that in. Again, it's going to be way too fast, so we're going to drag that out. Let's try about. Let's move this up to about 45. That's it's not too bad. Go at 40. I think that matches my run speed for me. So I'm going to pause that one, and let's go to my jump. Now for me, my jump is just 2 frames, and it works out nicely to be at the 0 and about the 24th frame for timing on this. So if you only have a couple frames in your jump, you do want to make it about a total of 24. This frame here, because this isn't a looping animation in game, it just plays once in your jump. This times really nicely. So you do want the peak of your animation to be right about here at about 24 frames. So I'm just going to take those 2 keyframes. I'm going to delete them, and then I'm going to bring in each of my jumps. So jump 1, I'm going to drag and drop that in, and then jump 2. Yours is probably all together, and then I'm just going to move this over to 24 as well. And if I play that, I know it does not look good right now. This one is much easier to test in game, so I'm going to show you how that looks in a moment. And what else do I got to do? Oh, my action. So let's go over to my action here. Again, I'm going to grab all those, delete, and let's go and find my hit animation for this little virtual dude. Drag and drop those in. There we go. And again, way too fast for the hit, so I'm going to drag that out to about maybe 24 again as well. And so you want to try to equalize these and start to compare these. So again, I'm firing about, 7 frames over the course of 24 is how that's going. So that might be a little bit slow, but you could kind of play with these and see. There's my idle. Yeah, they're looking pretty good. My jump is a little bit hard to see. My run. Yeah, I think I'm happy with these. So really, now it's time to game test. So I've brought all these animations in, and I'm going to press play. And let's see how this looks. Just give it a second. All right, I'm in. Now I got my little virtual dude, and I've changed the animations, and the jump looks timed pretty good. So that's where you're going to adjust your frames on your jump, because in this game it's not a variable jump. It's every time you jump, it's the same amount of time. Now, of course, sometimes I land on a platform here and can get up to the top, but, oh, and if you fell off the edge, don't worry, you'll respawn right back there. So this is looking pretty good. Now, I want to address a few things that happen to work out perfectly with mine because of the size of my sprite, but yours might not. So what I'm going to do is over here in the hierarchy, I got to show you one more thing, is I'm going to click on my sprite, and I like to just go to, let's minimize that. Can't remember the hotkey to minimize all those, but here we go. Here's my idle. I'm just going to, now that I have my idle open here, I want you to click on the sprite, and we're just going to drag this one onto it. So I have to click the sprite and then drag over so I can see it right there. Okay, now that I have that, I have to go to my player now in my hierarchy, and you only have to do this if it didn't look like it was hitting the ground correctly or the jump's not working. So I'm just going to show you a couple tweaks in Unity. We don't need this animation window. I'm just going to drag it down here and place it down below. What I do need to see is my scene view. So scene view is where we edit our video game. And so over here, I'm going to select player. I'm going to press F. When I press F, it zooms in right on my sprite super close. Now on my player over here in the hierarchy, we're just going to go and look at the capsule collider here. So if this is minimized, you can open it. The capsule collider option, and it has an edit collider. Now my collider, if I click this, is this little green capsule. Okay, and I can adjust all these. And in video games, we want it to be a little bit smaller, a pixel or two within. Okay, on the ground, I don't want to go more than a pixel. But this defines what your character can hit. So this is really important. If your character is smaller or bigger than mine, then you're going to have to adjust this collider to make it work just right. Okay. Also, the ground check. So if I go down here and click on the ground check, it should be located at approximately the feet. You can move to this move tool here, and that allows you to kind of switch where that ground check is seen. So I'm placing it right down here, and this is crucial. If my ground check was up here, then I wouldn't be able to jump. So this draws kind of an invisible circle to see if it's colliding or intersecting with the ground in my video game. So I do need to put it down here near my little player's feet. And now everything should look good. So if we press play, I can show you how I can zoom in on the scene view here just to make sure I'm holding my right mouse button, drag down, and we can see I'm standing nicely on there, and that's has to do with my pixel perfect camera as well. And so if we move our character, if I click over here and start to move left and right, everything is moving really nicely. Okay, so that's it. That's all. The only other feature I might show you is if you want to play this maximized, you can switch the camera to max, and when you press play, now you can see your game in a full screen mode. It might lag a little bit with you using Unity, but on your PCs it should run well. Mine might look a little bit choppy with my screen capturing. So I'm just going to bring this back down, and it is zoomed in quite a bit because this is run at normally a lower resolution because we're using pixel art here. Okay, so I hope that helped, and you've now brought in your animation and you can see how it looks in a real video game. All right, that's it. That's all.